So do you want to connect? Do you want to learn? Do you want to engage? Do you want to grow? Or do you just want to be seen in a green room with a selfie with a dude who doesn't even care about you or know you and hadn't taught you a daggum thing about how to get to where he is? It's a whole other realm that this big, selfie pastor lives in. And I feel like, again, that burns quickly. Here's 5 things I'd ask the well-meaning, good-sounding folks who feel tired or burned out. And then another way to think about it. Okay, my rant about 5 things I'd ask well-meaning people who say they're burned out really starts with, I feel like they're burning the wrong energy. I feel like it's, carbs versus protein. And I'm not a dietitian. I'm not trying to say that I am, but I feel like they're burning the wrong thing. And if you're on a sugar high, we all have the example of that crash. And I feel like that's what's happening when somebody says they're burned out. No, you burned out of crap that you ate. You burned out of something you thought was gonna be good fuel, and that's what you're burned out of. So it's not actually hard work. It's not actually like, hey, I had to wake up early to go volunteer at church. Oh my gosh, it was really terrifying. No, that's just normal life. It's volunteerism. It's giving of yourself to do something greater than yourself. And I feel like that's pretty normal in a lot of other areas of life. But again, I think somewhere along the lines, Christians invented or at least maximized the phrase burned out. And I think it's because their level of effort or the threshold of effort or the contribution they're expecting to put in, they've just dropped a lot lower. It's a sweet spot, it's a sugar rush. If I go to church on Sunday, that's like the lollipop that's gonna give me energy for 20 minutes and I'm out. Problem is, again, that burns very quickly. That being said, 5 things I would ask the well-meaning, well-intentioned person who says, but I'm burnt out. Number one is, do you wanna serve or do you wanna be needed? I think everybody wants to be needed. I feel like we always want to be needed and known. Somewhere there's a book or 20 books that say that's one of the kind of main needs of a human being. And I agree with that. I want to be seen, I want to be needed, I want to make a difference, I want to matter. All those are great things. But I still feel like it's kind of a selfish end. Do you want to serve? Do you want to make a difference? Do you want to come forward and say, hey, I did that. I made a difference. I saw that kid go from here to there. I saw that leader go from here to there. I saw this church grow from here to there. I made a difference in an economy. I made a difference in an educational endeavor. I did this in the business. Whatever it is, like, can you say I served and made a difference? Or is it like, man, I want to make sure that I get the credit for it? And I think most people ultimately land there. I think on some level, it's probably okay that you kind of, I don't know, maybe get triggered that way. I think it's kind of okay that that's part of the equation. I honestly think that. I think that's really crazy. I think sometimes you need a little bit of selfishness, aka cockiness, to push you over the line of discomfort and say, well, screw it, I'm gonna go. For example, there's no such thing in any professional sport as an athlete who's not cocky. Cocky is the thing that pushed them over the line from all the other good, well-intentioned people to like, I'm a pro now. So I think you need that. I think it's okay to be like, let's go, I need this, yes, but it can't be the thing you survive on forever, just like sugar. You wanna be needed or you really wanna serve? And I feel like serving is gonna probably land you in obscurity a lot more often than being needed, but it's gonna last longer. Do I need to say anything else on that? Second thing I'd ask is, do you wanna make a difference or do you wanna be liked? I feel like a lot of people just wanna be liked in the moment. They probably don't want to make a difference. Difference is gonna require effort. If you really wanna make a difference, it probably means the credit's gonna go somewhere else too, because that's kind of how legacy works. It's this snowball that keeps rolling and you're out, but the snowball keeps rolling. Next person's out, snowball keeps rolling. You made a difference. You did something that's gonna outlast you. But if you always have to be liked, that means you kind of always have to be in the frame, and that will burn out. You will get old, you will get slow, you will get outdated, you will say dad jokes, you will get fat, you will get lazy, you will get tired and need to go somewhere else, and then all of a sudden the camera's off of you now. You're no longer liked. But if you do it well, at least you made a difference. So what if you sourced your energy, your excitement, your calling, your drive, whatever, on making a difference? Building something that outlasts you. I think that's the point of leadership. I think leadership is more proven in your absence than in your presence. Like, what did you do when you left? Or what did they do when you left? If we want to have Bible study real quick, Jesus got those disciples for 3 years. They walked around like, hey, let's go fishing, let's do some things. I think he did a lot of his miracles, frankly, as just jokes and for the fun of it. Do you think he really needed to walk on water, for example? I always thought that was a really good one. I don't think there was like some big theological thing, like, I need to walk on water today. I thought it was a straight joke. He wanders around with the guys. He takes them on a tour. They're like 51% saved, if you want to use this terminology, and if you want to put a number to it. And then he's out. I'm like, I'm out. I hope you got it. And he left it with them. And one of the questions that's kind of struck me about how Jesus did this with the guys is, are you okay with the thing you're leading growing after you're gone? You gotta wanna make a difference for that. But if you want to be liked, it's got to grow while you're here, which is why a lot of things stop growing, because you're still here. Third thing I'd say is, do you want to be an influencer or do you want to be influential? Again, maybe different language for the same principle, but I think a lot of people want to post about the conversation they're having rather than engage in the conversation they're having, right? Let's make it shiny. Let's put lights around. Let's make sure that people see me. Hang on a second. Did anybody like that? Did anybody reshare that? I get it. I live there. I understand how that works. But ultimately, that starts to lean towards, I want to be an influencer. And so now I got to keep fueling this thing of likes and double taps or whatever the example is in your particular industry. I think that's what ends up, and then you burn out because you're chasing something that you're never going to catch up with. I feel like, again, making a difference, or in this case, being influential, I influence or I tipped a snowball and it's rolling and I can bounce out of here. And it's funny because in your own personal finances, that's exactly how you want it to work. You want to get that stock portfolio, you want to buy into that particular fund, and you want it to just go. And you don't want to touch it. And it's just fascinating how that's the economy you want to live in. But when it comes to, again, the making the difference, the change in the world, and all the big statements we want to make, somehow we always have to get credit for it. And I want to be an influencer, capital I want to be an influencer. I want to have my own hashtag, I want to have all the likes. And again, I think that burns out quickly. You can't keep up with it. You will get old. You will get outdated. And there's a lot of athletes and musicians we can look at and be like, I remember them, that was a cool thing. I think it's just better to kind of know the song that they came up with and sing the song, even if you don't know who wrote the song. And to me, that's like a truly generational, influencer, is when the name is forgotten, but the product still exists. And I want to live my life that way. Fourth thing I would ask is, do you want to lead or do you want to be in charge? This is my favorite on the list. I think a lot of people want to be in charge. We all want control. We all want backstage passes. We all want to kind of say, hey, I know that guy. Hey, let me text that guy. I know him. I got a guy. We like that. We don't really want to lead because leading makes you a target. Being in charge puts you in the bunker. And, we can make big penthouse decisions, but you kind of need frontline information to do that. And so the frontline people are the leaders. And I'm not taking anything away from the people who have to make terrifyingly difficult decisions from said penthouse. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I've been in that seat, and we all have. As a dad, I kind of have a penthouse view of how my corporation of the Webb family works. But then there's the front lines as well. So everybody has experienced probably both of those, environments that I'm pointing out. And there's going to come a time as a father where my kids, funny enough, if I do it well and I live that long, I will not even be in charge. My kids will probably take charge of my estate, my affairs or whatnot. So it's going to happen. Again, if you do it well, you are eventually going to work yourself out of being in charge. So do you want to lead or you want to be in charge? I want to lead. I want to make sure I go out and set an example, set a pace, set a tone, and be like, hey guys, this is cool. Now I've set the pace, come up against me and then run after me if you will like. Speed up, do it better. One of my favorite things I like to do is I like to say something maybe provocative, maybe something helpful, maybe lead something, start something and say, hey, put your name on it, make it better, make it yours. Because I actually find it a lot more gratifying, a lot more fulfilling when somebody takes what I did and made it better, because at least I know where they got it. And even at a purely selfish, self-serving level, man, that still burns a little bit more efficiently than, hey, make sure you say my name. I want to be in charge. I want to call all the shots here. And I just like knowing that I can be a part of something that has been built, even if I'm not in charge of it, but I led the effort. It's very helpful for me at least. Number 5, do you want to connect or do you want to be seen? Most people want to be seen. It always fascinates me in my industry of church work that we can go to conferences and it's like, I got a selfie with the pastor so-and-so. And it's this, who's in the green room? Can I get in the green room? Hey, is it okay if I just swing by and talk to so-and-so? Because I read his book and I was going to let him know that it changed my life. Okay, cool. You're the only one who's ever thought of that. And so in every industry, it's so funny that everybody just wants to be seen. Everybody just wants to be seen. Do you really want to connect? It's fascinating how many times we want to talk to, in this case, maybe the senior pastor, senior leader, who, by the way, started a church, preaches well, whatever. I mean, again, I'm not anti that position or anti that thought. The point is, generally speaking, though, and they will tell you this themselves, is that was 10 years ago. So the people you want to talk to build the thing that they lead, that ain't them. So do you want to connect? Do you want to learn? Do you want to engage? Do you want to grow? Or do you just want to be seen in a green room with a selfie with a dude who doesn't even care about you or know you and hadn't taught you a daggum thing about how to get to where he is? It's a whole other realm that this big, selfie pastor lives in. And I feel like, again, that burns quickly. Do you want to connect or do you want to be seen? And I feel like if you're just trying to be seen, it's going to burn out. You're going to be chasing the wrong thing. You can't connect with anybody. These kids don't want to see you anymore. These staff don't want to see you anymore. Those people don't want to come to your church anymore because they know you're not even seeing them. And it's ironic. You want to be seen and you stop being seen. Just connect. And if you're always the one being connected, you will always be connected. For me, I always connect other people. I'm not the smartest guy in the room, probably ever. I'm not the funniest guy in the room, ever. I have a weird thing where this side of my mouth is weird. I hunched over, I got bad posture and all that kind of thing. But the thing I find value in is if I can stay connected to all the great people, I'll always be connected to great people. I don't need to be seen, but I sure like to be around all the people that people want to be seen with. And that's a great, I think, byproduct of just being good at being connected. So you don't have to do it my way or think how I think. I'm just giving you another way to think about it.